Hello, Fast Lego Studios here, and welcome to the 12th week of building a Lego life-sized Spider-Man sculpture. And here we are, guys, at the beginning of week 12. We have made quite some progress in the course of these last 2 months, going from all the way down there, going to all the way up here. After designing, building, and so on from there on out, we have gotten a result like so. Last week's episode, we have gotten quite some progress right off to this arm here, as we managed to rebuild it and stabilize it just like so. Stabilizing wise, I didn't use any glue or armatures whatsoever, but I actually just used a little bit more Lego bricks in the inside to dense it out. But if you want a little bit more detail on that topic, there'll be a card in the upper right corner of your screen right now, forwarding to that video of where I talked about on how I could reinforce the arm. And so that theory did work out up to this point here. But going back into last week's episode here, looking at this forearm right off to the side here, I managed to get quite a little bit of progress going downwards here and getting a very nice kind of form of the forearm itself with the 11 webbing lines nice and consistently flowing downwards, which I hope to get by the end of building this hand of Spider-Man here, right about here, and it would still kind of maintain that consistency flow there, just building downwards on both of the arms. But that's my goal there. This week's episode, I'm really hoping to go back into the forearms and continue building downwards even more, maybe even get into the hands this week, but time will tell once again in this week's episode. But with all that being said, guys, let's move out into building some Spider-Man progress. And here we are, guys, with the first progress update of the week here. You can see on how much progress we've gotten off to both arms here. And without further ado, let's jump right into looking to what progress I've made. Now, taking a look at this arm right about here, you notice on how the webbing pattern is really nicely flowing downwards, at a very nice and consistent kind of look to it, which I'm really happy on how I'm achieving that. The structure of the model, being half hollow and half solid, is working out really nicely to how the entire build is coming together. And if we take a closer look to how that is all built together, you'd see right underneath the model with having all of those solid bricks being around the outside, with the hollow bricks being right the way in the middle. That's the progress that we've made in terms of the actual structure of the arm, but taking a step back and looking at the entire arm as a whole, you really begin noticing to how the entire arm nicely curves in and curves out. You really notice the very organic kind of flow of the arm, which I am really satisfied with on how it looks. Hopefully I can continue this kind of flow, at the same time use no glue and no armatures once again. So that's my hope here, and kind of get the consistent webbing pattern as well flowing downwards. But taking a look off to this arm here, you notice that I've gotten way more progress going on right about here. Once again, I've gotten the consistent webbing lines kind of flowing downwards with the same exact structure going in all throughout the arm. But if we really take, once again, a step back and look at the arm itself, you begin noticing to how it really nicely kind of has that slope going outwards, which looks really nice, very organic kind of look to the entire arm. Once again, we're just about to finish off the wrist and begin the hand of Spider-Man. So that's going to be very exciting, as I'm going to be able to finish off, finally, an entire half of the sculpture here, and then soon enough we'll get to building all of this here. But my hope right now really is to kind of balance everything out and get this side built out as much as this side, so center of gravity doesn't shift, and so on and so forth. But with all that being said, guys, let's continue building Spider-Man here. And here we are, guys, with the next progress update, just as I've gotten even more progress going out onto this arm here. You as well notice that both of the arms themselves are nice and on level, meaning that I can finally go back and build out the hand of Spider-Man, or see really where it takes me there in a second. But before I do so, I want to take a quick look around the forearm of Spider-Man that I've just about built. And right off the top, you notice the webbing lines nice and consistently flowing downwards. The structure of the arm is the same as I've been doing, with half hollow and half solid. And taking a step back and looking at the entire arm as a whole, you begin noticing that the entire arm once again really nicely flows, and it accepts the additional bricks that we've placed, and it really makes a very nice kind of look just about there. That's the progress that we've made throughout this update, And now let's move on into doing the time lapse. And here we are, guys, right after the speed build segment. You'd see what progress I have made just about here, as I give you an insight towards on how I build this Lego sculpture, going layer by layer by layer downwards, as well giving it a plan out, each single layer going on how it should be placed, the interlocking areas of the sculpture, as well as on how I should be very careful as I'm building this, or very patient at least, because one sudden movement incorrectly and the entire arm could fall off. Luckily, I have been pretty patient with it so far, and I'm really hoping to continue that, as I'll be finishing the arm next week, being right about here. You'd see the hand of Spider-Man is just about beginning right here, and once again finishing off that in next week, hopefully. But with all that being said, guys, let's move out into the outro here. And here we are, guys, at the end of week 12. We have made quite some progress this week in terms of building the arms of Spider-Man. We didn't have any incidents in terms of on how the entire arms of Spider-Man would just break off, fall off, break, and all that bad stuff. This week was all positive stuff, which I'm really happy about, and I hope to continue that as in next week's episode. I'm really hoping to get the finale and finish off the rest of Spider-Man's arms. That is my hope for next week's episode, but time will tell then. So stay tuned for all that. But moving on from that project, I want to begin a new project. It's either going to be a Lego City or maybe a Lego Star Wars MOC. I haven't committed to either of the projects yet, so I want you guys to decide which one I should do. There'll be a poll in the upper right corner of your screen right now, so you can vote which one you want to see, or you can just comment it down below in the comment section right now. Anyways, there'll be a lot more on that in next week's episode here. But with all that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and comment down below in the comment section of what do you think of this massive Lego sculpture. This has been Fast Lego Studios, and bye.